imagine consciousness like the internet, in that our connection to everything is just equivalent to bandwidth, and that we have a certain amount of processing power, a certain amount of interpretation or awareness of our reality at every single moment, dependent upon time and space. And so you're a reflection of your environment in terms of how do you connect, how do you relate to the world around you. And so the more connections you have, say, with the internet, such as on Facebook and in social media, the more connections you have to the people in your space, the more you can interact and reflect and connect, the more you can make things happen with the drop of a dime when you have that bandwidth. And so how do you increase this bandwidth? The bandwidth is there 24/7. It's just, is it 56K or is it fiber optic? And depending on it, it can take a moment's notice to where all of a sudden, boom, you're Einstein, boom, you're just some sheep. And that it can happen in a heartbeat. And so when you look at a space like this, and we have the lovely octagon above us, and how it magnifies consciousness. And as soon as I walk out of this room, my bandwidth goes down. As soon as I walk up, I can feel it. There's like this, there's this like edge, like right here, right there, boom, 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 and like, so like, walk, bandwidth goes up. And most people refer to this as like vibration. Oh, this place has a high vibration. And really the high vibration means bandwidth. You have more processing power. You have more capabilities in terms of your awareness, and that awareness is constantly reflective of your environment. When you take psychedelics, that kicks up your bandwidth with a filter. And so if I hold this crystal right here, yeah, I can feel it immediately in my being, like bandwidth, bandwidth, more bandwidth. And it just keeps going. And if I turn on the fountain, and we start to have water flowing down, the bandwidth goes up even more. It's all just sort of like the internet. And so the crazy thing to think about, and I've seen it happen, I've heard of stories of it happening, is what happens when authority comes into a space that's so high vibration. There is so much bandwidth in that moment that it overcomes their natural, it's not really natural, but the processing imbued upon them, the thought constructs, the programming, the NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, how it reconstructs their mind, and essentially takes away from their free will. Now, they're not embodying their personal astrology, they're embodying societal astrology. There's a specific societal archetype that many people are being consumed by, and we use the word, or many of us do at least, which isn't the nicest, but sheep. There's a lot of sheep. There's the masses, there are automatons, there are computer programs. And to step out of the computer program is to step into your free will, but sometimes it's the bandwidth that makes it happen. Right now what's happening with our society, with consciousness, is over the years, there's more bandwidth. There literally is more bandwidth. That's why people are talking more about metaphysics and spirituality more than ever, is because there literally is more bandwidth. 2012, December 21st, is when the bandwidth started really kicking up exponentially. And it's going to keep kicking up. But if you foster a space, especially time is very relevant, equinox, solstices, in terms of how it affects that bandwidth. But the biggest thing of all, okay, is if you have authority step into that space and trying to imbue their free will upon ours, which is the fundamental notion of karma, that say they have an order. If the vibration's so high, if the bandwidth is so much connecting them in that moment to their free will, they have the power in that moment to realize, I don't like this order. This order feels wrong. I can't follow it at all. Like this is just inherently wrong. But without the bandwidth, they're blind to it. They don't ever see it. They're just oblivious to that notion. And so consciousness is a pressure system. If I'm a high vibration and someone standing next to me is a low vibration, my vibration lowers and theirs raises. That can be a good and a bad thing. But, young Jedi, use it wisely.